Hello and welcome to the LLG vlog. I'm Helen McGrath, Head of Public Affairs at LLG, and I'm joined by our Bulletin Editor, Dennis Hall.
Hello, everyone.
In the vlog, we will give you a quick heads up of the big matters from the latest bulletin, together with any breaking news you need to be aware of. We know you're busy, so let us guide you to the news that you really need to know right now. So, Dennis, what's caught your attention last week?
Well, Helen, before I begin, I know you'll be dealing with that Nadawi case in a moment. But back to Bulletin 3, which has just been published. Attention naturally fell upon the new report from the Committee on Standards in Public Life entitled Learning in Practice. It highlights a number of examples of best practice and leadership in handling ethical issues, and there's a list of questions for leaders to address in improving their own approach to these questions. This is a timely report as government continues to struggle to shake off the impression that it is mired in ethical issues that it seems unable to handle, and which just keep on coming. And of course, what happens in government has some impact upon perceptions of standards in local government. Now, all litigation lawyers should listen in to the recent York City Council case, which is also in Bulletin 3. It covers the question, when can an officer conduct litigation for a local authority? Even the BBC drama Happy Valley gets a mention in our podcast this week. Listen in to find out why. Helen, back to you.
Well, sticking with ethics, Sir Laurie Magnus CBE, the independent advisor on ministers' interests, published a letter on Sunday which detailed his investigation into ex-Chancellor Nadhim Zahawi. And in it, he states, as a result of my inquiries, I conclude that Mr. Zahawi failed to update his declaration of interest form appropriately after this settlement, referring, of course, to the HMRC settlement, which was agreed in principle in August 2022. And it was not until mid-January 2023 that details of the earlier HMRC investigation and its outcome were declared. He went on to say, I consider that Mr. Zahawi, in holding the high privilege of being a minister of the Crown, has shown insufficient regard for the general principles of the ministerial code and the requirements in particular under the 7 principles of public life. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that might be the end of the matter if past behaviour was anything to go by. And I'm thinking here of the findings against Priti Patel when Home Secretary. But Prime Minister Sunak has dismissed Mr. Zahawi, although of course he does remain an MP. Now, declarations of interest are of course utterly essential to public life, both at central and local level. So this is definitely a Nolan tick, which sends a message to all. Turning to LLG news, applications are still open for Deputy Vice President, Junior National Lead, moving to Junior Director, and 6 regional director positions. We're also looking for national leads to be the face of specific practice areas, including employment, children's services, adult social care, litigation, and housing and regeneration. And if any of these are of interest to you, but you just don't know what it involves, then please do get in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to talk you through it. And now for a sneaky peek at what's coming up in bulletin number 4. Dennis.
Well, Helen, the government's levelling up policy is in the news yet again, but for all the wrong reasons. Last week, it was those controversial funding allocations. But in Bulletin 4, there's a report that project costs are spiralling and that grant allocations are insufficient to justify going ahead. Many councils are putting a complete freeze now on these projects and schemes. Plus, there's the usual case roundup of cases involving local authorities, in-depth analysis on local government topics from a range of commentators, and the latest planning appeal reports published during the course of the week. Helen.
Indeed, and for more detailed coverage of the bulletin entries, don't forget to listen to the Grapevine podcast. Have a good week, everyone.
Bye now.